Good evening and welcome to Undaunted, bringing into the news untold stories. I am Star Smart. Let's begin. Monday has now been tagged as the most needed energizer for the peoples of Ambazonia. While our republic is frustrated with Monday's ghost town, it is rather an energizer to the people of southern Cameroon's Ambazonia. The people of southern Cameroon have adapted to the Monday lockdowns, making it a day to rest and better prepare for the new week. Today, Tuesday, June 27, 2023, in Bamenda, the people of southern Cameroon with more determined faces are going about their daily activities. The same action repeated over and over in the entire Amazonia. The colonial DO of Mbangui must have learned his lesson now that no amount of force whatsoever will make the people of Amazonia generally, and those of Mbangui in particular, disrespect the Monday lockdowns. This is the message that the colonial DO must learn and accept. His predecessors tried to fight the Monday lockdowns and failed, yet he is on the same path trying to stop the Monday ghost towns by sealing shops. The result is obvious, as it was in the case of his predecessors. We wonder if the colonial DO will still hold on to his sealing of shop strategy to stop the Monday ghost towns, or eventually respect the status quo. Well, we'll find out more about today's news in the course of the full briefings of Undaunted coming right up after the prime headlines.
All right, here are the prime headlines for today. Well, business as usual a day after Monday, June 26th lockdown. Mbangui says yes to ghost town and no to the colonial DO. Hundreds continue to flee military carnage on civilians in Amberland. The porous nature of Ambazonian borders breed transnational crime. Let's see what's happening about that. And in sports, Manchester United unveils the home shirt for on the 23-24 season ahead of the protest against Glazers. And on the foreign scene, Ukraine's cheap missiles outperforms world's best X-400 system in the war zone. Now let's get the news in detail.
In this interim government is to make ABC a leader and a real war horse of our struggle. We want to grow it, expand it, hire and train more hands, and broadcast round the clock, around the world, and take command of the media space of this world.
You can enjoy all round the clock, 24/7 exclusive moments of bliss as an ABC Amba TV Club member. A cappella. Latest Nigerian/African movies, global politics, ABC Amba News and updates, historical documentaries, and lots more. In our daily programs, we have Undaunted, ABC Amba News, bringing into the news untold stories with Onyi Okpala and Star Smart. Exclusive discussion, revolutionary panel conversation, infotainment, edutainment, inter/intro governmental debates on topical issues with Tar Paddy King, State of the Liberation Movement, Fronting IG, and People of Ambazonia's position. The Struggles Weekly Update with Secretary Martin Mungwa, PhD, FASCE. Health is Wealth, Health Education and Awareness within the Ambazonian Community with Dr. Yaya. Liberation Prayer and Intercessory Ministry for Ambazonia with Pastor Victor Amba. Our Freedom, Spiritual Awareness and Education for the Ambazonian Community with Pastor Victor Amba and Pastor Commando. Church and Politics, Neutralizing the myths and preconceived religious and political philosophies that limit the Christian involvement in the realms of decent politics with Pastor Commando. The Horizon, the voice of the Ambazonian woman with Dr. Patience Abiedo and Lady Casey. Our Amber History, bringing to limelight the hidden history of Ambazonia to the world with Pastor Commando. Appointment on community building, education on patriotism within the Ambazonian communities with Ma Rachel Itatima. Ethics for an Emerging Nation, watchdog of basic principles and morals of a nation at war with Ma Dorothy Ngwa. Upcoming programs: Pigeon News, Vernacular Talk Show, County Roots, Activists Corner, Amba Focus, only on ABC Amba Television. We the people, the voice of the voiceless. For 24/7 access, subscribe as a club member on www.abcambatv.com/subscribe.
Well, it is unbelievable that in the 21st century, people are being treated as the occupational La Republic du Cameroon military is treating the people of southern Cameroon's Amazonia. How on earth will a trained military man open fire on a fellow human for just asking a question? Certainly, it is an act of obedience on the part of that officer from the hierarchy. You would agree with me, and it shouldn't be so. This implies that the occupational forces of La Republic du Cameroon in Amazonia have been given the mandate to kill Ambazonians at will. They have been assured that they will go scot-free from any atrocity they commit. Why won't they go free? They have the guns, the power, and of course, the mind to manipulate the laws for their interests. But they forget to know that no condition is permanent and that what goes around definitely comes around. After all, the Holy Bible states clearly that he who kills by the sword dies by the sword. A young, energy civilian full of dreams has been killed by a colonial Republic of Cameroon soldier just because he asked him while he wants to arrest someone on Sunday without a warrant. How are Ambazonians reduced to the point that they can't ask questions? How are you doing, sir?
Very well. That's an interesting question to start this news with. In the full report, a young man in his prime has been shot point blank by the terrorist La Republic du Cameroon's military in the Fiango neighborhood in Kumbo, Meme County of the Atlantic zone of Amazonia for asking a pertinent question. The victim of the La Republic Genocidal Act we got, Undaunted could not get his name, died on the spot just on Sunday after receiving a bullet in his chest for an overzealous La Republic's terrorist military official. This happened in broad daylight before helpless club mates immediately finished their Sunday veteran sporting outing to refresh as usual. In an attempt by the La Republic's talk to kidnap one of the veteran members, this uniformed man asks the thugs, the unfortunate man asks the thugs why they are carrying out an arrest of somebody who is not a criminal nor a thief on Sunday, and above all, without an arrest warrant. One of the terrorist forces of La Republic, considering himself more human to be talked to as a common civilian, pulled his trigger, leaving his bullet on the chest of this young man who died, unfortunately, on the spot.
Witnesses said the civilian was shot at close range after questioning La République de Cameroon gendarmes who stormed their meeting. He was part of a veteran club. He got up and said, "Why will he want to arrest someone without a warrant?" And then the La République de Cameroon gendarme man shot him in the chest. The thugs hurried off the scene, aborting the kidnapped plan they were coming to carry out, while other club members carried the lifeless body of their members to the mortuary.
As pathetic as that might be, the Mbengui Colonial SDO still to correct his actions of trying to stop the Monday ghost towns. The same actions repeated over and over will never produce a different result. The Colonial DO of Mbengui must have learned his lesson now that no amount of force whatsoever will make the people of Ambazonia in general, and those of Mbengui in particular, to disrespect the Monday lockdowns. The message that the Colonial DO has learned and should accept that his predecessors tried fighting Monday lockdowns and failed. He on the same path, stealing shops, trying to stop the Monday lockdowns. The result has been obvious, as it was with the previous, with the Colonial DO still holding on to his sealing of shop strategy or bow to the status quo.
Men of God broke the truce in a squabble between the Colonial DO of Mbengui and the population on Friday, June 23rd. This followed a meeting held today in the council hall between religious leaders in the municipality and the Colonial DO in Gida Lawrence, at the end of which all descended to the Mbom Motor Park, addressed the population, prayed, then proceeded to unseal the shops. To combat Monday ghost towns and impromptu lockdowns, in-house slave Ngida Lawrence Che had randomly sealed some shops in the Mbom market, which is found in the Mbom Park, Mai 19 as well.
Now the people will retaliate through non-violence, but not opening up all the other shops not sealed as means to persuade the Colonial DO to back his decision. The municipality became economically locked down for close to a month until Friday when a truce was broken. A series of meetings with the Colonial DO, Mayor, MP, and SDO had yielded no positive fruits as he had insisted they must open on Mondays or stay closed, and the people too refused that they cannot. The people refused that they would open their shops on Mondays due to the ghost towns. Now, Friday's unsealing exercise was done on the condition that the people will have to open on Monday mornings. Even if it's just for some hours, then return home and maybe come back in the evening for some more hours.
Many business persons had transferred their shops to their homes, while others were contemplating relocating. As business gradually resumes today, Tuesday, the Mbengui Bamenda Main Road, Alabukam, is still blocked for close to 3 months. Access to Bamenda was done through Bali, and unfortunately, the stretch was still again blocked for cars only. Movement these days is just done only by bike, which is at the cost of 3,500 francs. There's an old road through the Mancon Palace which some cars are managing, but because of its deplorable nature, only cars, some kind of cars, can pass there. Before the recent impasse, Bangui was speedily growing economically and in terms of school resumption and enrollment as well. It is hoped the growth continues and many sons and daughters come back home. Well, yesterday, Monday, June 26, shops were still locked as shop owners observed lockdown, defying the colonial DU's overzealous moves.
Monday is just the most needed energizer for the people of Ambazonia. A lot of people is frustrated with Monday ghost towns. It is rather an energizer to the people of southern Cameroon's Ambazonia. The people of Ambazonia have adapted to the Monday lockdowns, making it a day to rest and better prepare for the week ahead.
Today, Tuesday, June 27th, in Bamenda, the people of Southern Cameroons with more determined faces are going about with their daily activities. From 8 Mancom to 3 Corners Mbambui bosses are back as usual. Back because yesterday, Monday, was a complete lockdown of businesses and all other institutions. Municipal markets as well as La République de Cameroon's run institutions were all locked yesterday in observance of the Monday lockdown.
Talking to a commercial cab driver in the city of Bamenda, Undaunted learned that the only day reserved for rest without pressure is Monday. According to this driver who voted for anonymity, he pointed out that the only day that I do rest with a clear conscience is Monday. Though one can rest any other day of the week, it is not the same as Monday. On different days, one's mind will be only about work will be good, how work will be good or better. But on Mondays, you sleep with all your eyes closed because no work is going on anywhere, the driver said.
Well, this is a similar energy observed with the Bamenda city dwellers going about with their activities. Monday Ghost Town was instituted in 2017. It is a civil disobedience measure to ensure that the activities of La République du Cameroun Amazonia is not totally done, and also to make Ambazonia ungovernable for the terrorists. That it has been proven beyond measure that the call for Monday Ghost Town is one of the strongest points with the blessings of the entire Ambazonians to flush out La République du Cameroun.
The war in Amazonia continues. Hundreds of civilians, mostly elderly, women, and children, continue to arrive in Bambui and Tuba local government area as they flee from what they describe as mass killings of southern Cameroons by the French Cameroon soldiers.
All right, so this report suggests that Ambazonians move from one point to another, all in search for safety and succor. So they move from one end of Amberland to another corner. Now, according to them, a girl of about 12 years of age said that they went through terrible times before getting to Bambui, Tuba local government area, from Bellu local government area, Boyo County. Well, you can check the map to see how long that distance covers. Well, in her own words and description, she said, we used the bush parts and we saw many dead bodies in farms, some partly eaten up by animals, with some in advanced stages of decay. Many were women with farm tools. We also met some boys who helped us by showing us the way through barefoot. She narrated all this, looking very tired, with tears in her eyes.
Well, with schools resuming in September and the level of destruction recorded, there are fears many victims will not be able to get back to their feet and prepare their kids for school. Many are yet to get accommodations in Bambui and Bamenda, while others have been taken in by relatives who are bracing up for tougher days ahead as the number of mouths to feed has increased amongst other challenges. There has been evidence in Ekok, Aquia in Manu County, Furawa in Munchum County, Mwa and Ako local government areas in Dongamatun County, where armed Fulani herdsmen and tele-guided Bororos, sponsored by the Yaoundé regime, crisscrossed the borders at will and at short notice to cause havoc, including looting of properties like cows, burning of houses, killing and abductions for ransoms. The Colonial La Republic CPDM mayor of Ako Council in Dogamountain County has reacted to previous and recent acts of kidnapping for ransom in Buku Village, a locality in Ako local government area, labeling them as transnational crime and urging the criminal government to Yaoundé to intervene.
Well, in a press release issued on the 25th of June, CPDM Mayor Nkwai Goslov Nkaya qualified the action by Fulanis from neighboring countries as a transnational crime. The mayor of Ako Council regrets to inform the national and international community that his municipality has become a victim of transnational crime. Since the 1st of April 2023, according to him, he says unidentified armed men from neighboring countries have repeatedly stormed some villages of the border and Buko village in particular and kidnapped people for ransom.
Now, according to the Colonial La Republic CPDM mayor, three people were kidnapped between June 18th and 19th, 2023, with one victim killed following a rescue by the La Republic Colonial military operation. Since the beginning of 2023, there has been serious unrest in Akko local government area following several incursions from unidentified armed men. A wider span on Africa, President of France Emmanuel Macron has accused Russia of being a power destabilizing Africa, noting that this has been documented by the United Nations in the Central African Republic. The French leader, in an interview on Friday with France Info RFI France 24 on the sidelines of a Paris summit, pointed out that the Russian mercenary in Africa, the Wagner, has committed violent acts against the civil populace on the continent. This comes amidst claims by Moscow that it was developing constructive relations with Africa. According to Macron, it is a power destabilizing Africa through private militias that come to predate and commit acts of violence against civilian populations. In his view, Russia has of its own volition put itself in a situation where it no longer respects international law, where it has once again become one of the few colonial powers of the 21st century by waging a war of empire against its neighbor Ukraine.
Since its last year's invasion of Ukraine, Russia has sought to strengthen its economic and diplomatic ties with Africa, competing in some countries with France, a former colonial power on the continent. Macron did not rule out the possibility of holding talks with Russian President Vladimir Putin if the opportunity arose and the conditions were right. Asked if the Russian president calls him tomorrow, of course, I will pick up the phone, Mr. Macron said. If he calls me to propose something, I will take it because France has always been a facilitating and mediating power. But he qualified the resumption of dialogue is only possible if there is respect for international law, which is the only one that allows us to live in peace. While he also reiterated that he himself had no reason to call Vladimir Putin today during the Ukrainian counteroffensive, he says the time will come. He says he hopes for negotiations on Ukraine's terms.
Now, Moscow's response, however, dismissed the accusations, assuring that it was developing constructive relations in Africa with the continent's countries. Russia is developing with African countries friendly, constructive relations based on mutual respect, Russian presidential spokesman Dmitry Peskov told reporters. These relations are not and cannot be directed against third countries, he also stated. It seems it's a never-ending fight over Africa for these nations of influence. Meanwhile, speaking of fights in Africa, while Sudan war rages on. Speaking of fights in Africa, while Sudan's war rages on, German Foreign Minister Annalena Baerbock traveled to South Africa on Monday to advocate greater efforts to end Russia's war of aggression against Ukraine. Meetings planned for Monday in Cape Town were cancelled at short notice as Baerbock had to attend a meeting of European Union foreign ministers in Luxembourg, called to discuss the aborted Wagner mutiny over the weekend in Russia. However, dealing with Russia is likely to play a central role in Baerbock's meeting with her South African counterpart, Naledi Pandor, on Tuesday. When the country of Nelson Mandela and Desmond Tutu's raises his voice against injustice, the world listens, Baerbock said before leaving, referring to the prominent South Africans fighting against the racist apartheid system that was abolished in the early 1990s.
Well, during her visit to the capital, Pretoria, Baerbock also wanted to talk about how South Africa can bring its weight to the table to end the Russian aggression and uphold the UN Charter. Baerbock hails Ramaphosa's peace mission, paying tribute to peace initiative of President Cyril Ramaphosa, who recently visited Russia and Ukraine as the head of an African delegation trying to mediate in the conflict, but with no discernible success. Ramaphosa, together with his counterparts, made it clear that the brutal war in Europe also affects Africa, as Baerbock said. South Africa maintains cordial links with Russia and has adopted a policy of neutrality in the war in Ukraine. South African readers recall the support that the Soviet Union offered them during the Cold War in their struggle against the white minority government of apartheid South Africa.
Baerbock emphasized that the intensification of relations between Germany and South Africa is also in the geopolitical interest of both countries. Just in case you were wondering, South Africa is Germany's most important partner south of the Sahara. Both countries are members of the G20 and key partners on global issues such as the climate crisis, international health, and food security.
All right, and now let's All right, and in sports today, Manchester United have unveiled their home kit for the 2023-2024 season, although it is not the first time that it has been shown off to the public.
Now, in cricket, England will begin their World Cup defense against New Zealand in Ahmedabad on 5th October in a repeat of the dramatic 2019 final. England won on boundary count back after the match was tied twice. Gabellison has more.
Latest world sports. Football. Man United unveiled the home shirt for 2023-2024 season ahead of protests against Glazers. Manchester United have unveiled their home kit for the 2023-2024 season, although it is not the first time that it has been shown off to the public. Their classic crimson red shirt, which features a pattern of licentious roses, was unveiled on social media on Tuesday morning. Red Devils fans will have to splash out a mouth-watering £120 for their matchday edition, while a replica will cost them £80. The kit was shown off by Manchester United stars Marcus Rashford, Rafael Varane, and Lisandro Martinez. However, the kit was first revealed to the public in a leak by United fan and British rapper IH at Glastonbury. United confirmed on Tuesday morning before the launch that the shirt donned by IH during his performance on the Pyramid stage was the same one that United will wear for the forthcoming season. Their kit reveal comes as a group of United fans plan a protest against the Glazers at the club's mega store amid growing frustration over long-running takeover saga. The 1958 said they would be at the Old Trafford store at 9:45 a.m. on Tuesday morning to coincide with the launch of United's new Adidas kits. In a tweet, they wrote, "Bring your anti-Glazer flags and banners. Be loud, be visual. We don't stop until they sell our club." Large sections of the club support are furious with the Glazers, with the process now in its 8th month having launched last November. With the new season 7 weeks away, it remains to be seen whether Qatari Sheikh Jassim bin Hamad Al Thani or British billionaire Sir Jim Ratcliffe will be successful with their offers for United in what is essentially a two-horse race. The American owners, who have drained more than £1 billion out of the club since their leverage takeover in 2005, are yet to make a choice, despite a deadline for final offers passing at the end of April. Initially, it had been hoped that any takeover or investment would be completed before the opening of the transfer window, while United's level of spend is not impacted. The lack of clarity over the club's future is not assisting those trying to get deals over the line. The 23-year-old rapper Ige donned a previously unseen United strip as he featured on the Pyramid stage on Saturday, beginning his set with a shirt tucked into his shorts. The Boston-born artist stopped between songs to speak to the crowd before spotting a rival fan in the audience. "I'm gonna upset some people with this. Some people are gonna love me. You there in the Man City top, you're not gonna like me after this. Security, can we get him out, please? The man in the Man City top, can we get him out, please? I'm only joking. Don't start working towards him." Cricket World Cup 2023. England start defense against New Zealand. England will begin their World Cup defense against New Zealand in Ahmedabad on 5th October in a repeat of the dramatic 2019 final. England won on boundary countback after the match was tied twice. Games against Bangladesh, Afghanistan, and South Africa followed before they faced India, Australia, and Pakistan, as well as two as yet unknown qualifiers. Hosts India faced Pakistan in Mumbai on 15th October, with the group stages lasting until 12th November. England's opener will be played at the world's largest cricket ground, the 132,000 capacity Narendra Modi Stadium. England are currently double world champions in the white ball formats after beating Pakistan in the final of the T20 World Cup in Australia last year. The semi-finals, should England get that far, are scheduled for consecutive days on 15th and 16th November, with the final in Ahmedabad on 19th November. Additionally, England are set to play two warm-up matches before the tournament, against India on 30th September and against the qualifier on 2nd October in Guwahati. England's full World Cup schedule: 5th October, New Zealand, Ahmedabad; 10th October, Bangladesh, Dharamsala; 14th October, Afghanistan, Delhi; 21st October, South Africa, Mumbai; 26th October, qualifier, Bengaluru; 29th October, India, Lucknow; 4th November, Australia, Ahmedabad; 8th November, qualifier, Pune; 12th November, Pakistan, Kolkata. Semi-final and final dates: 15th November, Semi-final 1, Mumbai; 16th November, Semi-final 2, Kolkata; 19th November, final, Ahmedabad. Ice hockey. Conor McDavid won his third Hart Trophy, awarded to the NHL's most valuable player on Monday after a near-unanimous vote. The Edmonton Oilers center earned 195 of 196 first-place votes, with the only other first-place vote going to the Boston Bruins' David Pastrnak. McDavid enjoyed a stellar season for the Oilers, leading the league in goals, assists, and points. Although the 26-year-old has yet to taste Stanley Cup success, the importance of his personal accolades is hugely significant to Hart. "It's not lost on me what these trophies mean in the grand scheme of our game," McDavid said. "To do it a number of times, it means a lot to me. Obviously, it's not the motivating factor, but it's special still. I know the 5-year-old me would be upset if I was taking it for granted or something like that, because I'm not. It's special." McDavid previously won the Hart Trophy in 2017 and 2021. He becomes just the 5th player to win the award at least 3 times within his first 8 NHL seasons, alongside Wayne Gretzky, Bobby Clark, Bobby Orr, and Alex Ovechkin. In leading the league in goals, assists, and points, McDavid is the 5th different player to do so, and the first since Oilers legend Gretzky in the 1986-1987 season. It was an emotional award ceremony for McDavid, who was surprised on stage by the family of Ben Stelter, an Oilers superfan who had become close to the Oilers center and his Edmonton team before he died of cancer at the age of 6 in 2022. Stelter had suffered from glioblastoma, a type of brain cancer for which he went through surgery, chemotherapy, and radiation to treat. During that time, Stelter joined the Oilers for morning skate-arounds, lining up with the team for pre-match anthems and featuring on McDavid's social media during the team's 2022 Stanley Cup playoff run. When the Stelter family joined McDavid on stage, big embraces were exchanged. "Wow," McDavid told the audience, "that was an incredible surprise, and it means so much to me to be standing up here with the Stelters, thinking about our buddy Ben." It was a memorable evening in more ways than one for McDavid, as he also won the Ted Lindsay Award for the 4th time in his career. The accolade is presented to the most outstanding player in the NHL, as voted by fellow members of the NHL Players Association. "I really feel that the Ted Lindsay is the most prestigious award that is given out here tonight in terms of hockey awards," McDavid said. "To have your peers recognize you, they're the ones you go to battle with every night. And for them to single you out, obviously, it's really, really special." McDavid also was the winner of the Maurice Richard Trophy, given to the player finishing the regular season as the league's goal-scoring leader, and the Art Ross Trophy, awarded to the player who leads the NHL in scoring points at the end of the regular season. Gab Ellison reporting from Undaunted, ABC Amba News.
All right, thank you so much, Gab Ellison, for that report. Now, before we go, let's take a look at the major highlights.
On Undaunted tonight, we brought to you business being going back to usual after the Monday ghost town today. Bangui also saying yes to ghost towns and no to the colonial deal. As hundreds also continue to flee military carnage and civilians in Amberland, we took a look at the porous nature of Ambazonians' borders breeding transnational crime.
Right, we also told you that South Africa is in talks with Russia. And also in sports, we told you that Manchester United unveils their home shirt for 2023-2024 season. All right, and that was it for tonight on Daunted. On behalf of my co-anchor, Starsmat, and the entire Undaunted crew, we say thank you for tuning in.
We'll leave you with ABC Amba TV images. Good night and God bless you.